So before I start off this video on how to overcome Solak on his final and probably most difficult phase, I have made 4 other videos, phases 1, 2, 3 and 4 as part of this Solak Days of Release mini guide series, so do go and check those out. If you have enjoyed them or been helped out by them, do remember to do all the good stuff like drop a like, comment and subscribe of course. So then phase 5, probably the most difficult, even with knowing the mechanics to sort of cooperate and coordinate with your team or your partner, and if you're in the case of a duo. I'm just going to run through basically what I do. Now this isn't going to work for every single team, and I will, when people have a better method for that doesn't require so much DPS, I will definitely upload that. But for now, basically the method that we're using is Sunshine at the start and then build for the first 5 or 6 seconds that you can't attack or you can't deal any damage to Solak, and he is actually just transitioning and jumping around the room. You should sort of end up with about 80% adrenaline. Then I just do double threshes, so Wild Magic, a Sphinx and a basic, and then I hop into the Shadow Realm. Now at this point I sometimes shatter depending on my partner's adren, and I try and get into the Shadow Realm anywhere between 175k and 200,000 life points. Now what this actually does means that it's 5 or 6 mages in the room, which is enough to tag. So I tag one, I try and get Debreath, Chain and Corruption, and then basically my job in the room is just to stay alive and tag all the images as they spawn. As you can see here, I basically just click, and then I use Devotion when I have quite a few of them on me. I reflect first, then Devotion, and then after that Cade and heal up Solak. Now obviously when you get to the lower points, it's really important that when you Cade, you absolutely spam heal on Solak, because that's what keeps your partner alive, or keeps the red bar high enough, and then your partner is in the other phase DPSing and you finish as you can see on screen. However, this doesn't work if your partner isn't doing a very good rotation. So I'm going to leave on screen the main rotation that my partner is doing at the moment, which is essentially a Sunshine with extended thresholds, Disruption Shield and Resonance on the sort of blight hits, and the big sort of 9 to 10k that Solak builds up, and then he onslaughts and then just rethreshes after that if it's needed. Now obviously there's going to be, to start with, lots of imperfections and you might fail a couple of kills, but once you get the hang of it, it's quite an easy, simple rotation. My partner doesn't really record much, so I kind of had to do it on a few of the older clips I've got now, but so it's not perfect. But what the sort of important things he does get, which is the Disruption Shield in the middle of his onslaught, it's really handy. I do massively advise it, especially as you don't really need food in this fight. So you can just, you can afford to have those runes in your invent and then just take food from your yak as and when you need it. A Titan obviously for extra DPS is also beneficial. Ash just doesn't do it here. I think it's an early on clip, like I said. And then Aura, people saying, oh yes, it's a brilliant boss because you don't need an Aura. Yes, but at the same time, if you are on Maniacal or a Zerka Aura, at this point it is going to hit, you are going to hit a lot harder. You might take a bit more damage, but the damage is made up in your onslaught and obviously your Sunshine and what have you, so I do recommend that. The other thing I would be wary of at this point in time, as you can see right at the end of that clip that I've just shown, when you kill the boss, a lot of the time the person who's in the Shadow Realm will get obviously instantly kicked out of it when the boss ends or the boss fight ends. However, when the images die, your Devotion or any defensive abilities or prayer that you have up won't work on the very last hit because their death animation is too short, which is really annoying actually, and I think it should be fixed fairly shortly, because I've lost quite a lot of KC, as you can see here, or not just KC, sorry, just dying at the end of kills because I'm devoted in the Shadow Realm and I just get one hit by about 10 or 15 images as I pop out. So be wary of that. Try and get your Ring of Death on is about the only thing I can say. There's not much else you can do about that other than just safe up as soon as you get out. Just try and spam your food, but it's pretty difficult. Other than that, good luck on all your kills, and when I have a rotation that's not so DPS orientated, I will let you guys know.